Why do we trust people? But after today's video, you will stop trusting people and perhaps start using them. And if you think people care about you, then you can skip this video. Now, before we go into its dark side, I have divided this entire video into 3 parts so that you can clearly understand how we can master the control and manipulation of our emotions. First, we will learn what this mind trick actually is, how does it work, and why is it more powerful than you think. Second, we will dive into its dark side, that part which no one talks about, where we will learn about strategy, manipulation, and influence, and controlling people. Third, we will learn to master it so that you can use it for power, for your protection, and to decide that you are pulling the strings, but you're not tangled in them. So let me introduce you to a mental function that very few people in the world truly use, thinking about the way you think. It might sound a bit strange, right? Let's understand this in simple language. Most people are stuck in level 1 thinking. They get a feeling, they react, got angry, shouted, felt nervous, postponed things, got confidence, spoke up. But a mastermind works on level 2 thinking. They don't just feel, they also watch themselves feeling. They don't act directly, they question. Why do I want to do this? Is this feeling helping me or harming me? If I say this to the other person right now, what will happen 3 steps ahead? This is the difference between a pawn and a chess player, between a person who is played and one who plays the game themselves. Now, to make this more real, we will divide it into 3 main skills. Emotional intelligence. Before controlling your emotions, it's necessary to understand them. Most people live on emotional autopilot. Anger, fear, shame, or irritation comes, and they react immediately. No pause, no consideration, just action. Often our action later becomes regret. But a metacognitive thinker, meaning the person who thinks about the way they think, they do something different. They take a step back. They observe that emotion. They don't drown in it. They don't just ask, "What am I feeling?" They ask, "Why am I feeling this?" And most importantly, is what I'm feeling even a real emotion or not? Now let's understand this a bit deeper. Most people say, "I'm getting angry," but that's just a superficial label. It's like seeing smoke and assuming where the fire is without knowing the real reason. A metacognitive mind doesn't stop there. It asks, am I truly angry, or am I embarrassed and defending my ego? Am I upset because something bad happened, or because I'm feeling helpless and can't control something? Am I irritated with this person, or am I just tired, hungry, or worried about something else? These questions might seem small, but this is where real self-control begins. Because as soon as you name that real emotion, a space is created between your feeling and reaction, and hidden in that space is power. And then you're not a puppet pulled by the strings of emotions. You become the player who makes calculated moves. Using emotional labeling saves you from saying things you later regret. When you recognize the real emotion, you catch yourself in time. You don't explode emotionally in front of the person. You don't shout. You just think. Staying calm under pressure becomes easier. As soon as you name an emotion, its impact reduces. Even just saying, "I'm feeling very overwhelmed," activates the rational part of your brain. You also start understanding what others are feeling inside. When you practice this on yourself, you can read others better too. The person who looks angry might be doing it out of fear. The person who is distant might be feeling shame. This insight isn't just a way to connect with people. It gives you the power to influence others. So let's do a small exercise. Label the layers. Whenever you feel a strong, deep emotion, just stop and ask yourself 4 questions. What emotion am I feeling right now? What triggered this emotion? Is this really the emotion I'm thinking it is? Or is there another hidden feeling behind it? What unfulfilled need or deep belief is working behind this emotion? If you do this daily, even if just for 30 seconds, you won't believe how much more control you get. Remember, emotions you don't name control you, and emotions you recognize obey you. This is the first step of a mastermind. Applause. Music. Your thoughts are not just background noise. They are blueprints according to which your brain is building life. And if you're not paying attention to them, then your mind will create a life that isn't your own choice, just received from outside, borrowed from others, or installed from somewhere. That's why thought tracking meaning tracking your thoughts, is a very necessary part of metacognition because most people don't think their thoughts. They just receive them, like notifications coming to the brain that they never subscribed to. You tell yourself, I'm not good enough. This work won't happen for me. They probably don't like me. What's the point of trying? What if I fail? And the most dangerous thing, they accept these thoughts as true. They think if I'm thinking this, it must be right. But now, listen carefully. This is the metacognitive truth. Every thought is not your own. Every thought is not true. And every thought does not deserve your attention. Music. Think like you've installed a security camera in your brain. Now you don't let any thought just come in and change your brain's layout. You check that thought's ID. This is how you have to do it with your emotions. Whenever your emotions are at their peak, stop and ask, what am I thinking right now? This is where awareness begins. As soon as you shine light on a thought, that's the moment of change. Is this thought helpful or harmful to me? Even if it seems true, is it useful to me? Is this thought based on fact or just on fear? Fear-based thoughts are shown to you by your brain in an exaggerated way. Repeatedly repeated and emotionally heavy thoughts control you, whereas fact-based thoughts give you a different mindset, calm and stable. Now, suppose a thought comes to your mind. I'm not good enough to do this work. Most people take this thought deep inside, accept it as truth, without understanding that it's just a mental reflex, meaning a brain habit. But a mastermind stops, takes a step back and asks themselves, where did this belief come from? Did someone say this to me in my childhood? Did it get installed in me from fear of failing or from failing? What evidence do I have that I can't do this? And here, this small series of questions becomes a huge power. It breaks that mental loop, slows down that spiral, and turns that useless thought into a conscious choice. Now know why this works. Music. When you track your thoughts, your attention shifts from the brain's limbic system, where emotions reside, to the prefrontal cortex, which is your rational thinking and decision-making center. This creates distance between you and your thought, and hidden in that distance is your freedom. Now you're not that thought. You're watching that thought, and whoever watches you needs to think. They decide what happens next. Bonus technique, thought journal. At the end of the day, just do one thing. Write down one toxic or limiting thought that you noticed in yourself today. Now, break it down. Where did this thought come from? What evidence supports it? What truth cuts through it? What new belief am I choosing now? Gradually, this practice changes your brain's wiring. You start moving not from unconscious fear, but from conscious strategy. Now let's talk about the art of strategic observation. Most people enter conversations like they have a blindfold on. They hear words but don't catch meaning, react to tone but don't understand intention, see faces but don't see the dark side behind that smile. But a metacognitive mind doesn't do this. It doesn't just participate in conversation, it also observes. This is called strategic observation, where you divide your awareness into two steps. Step 1, you're fully involved in the conversation, speaking, listening, expressing. Step 2, you're quietly watching everything like a social chessboard. And this is where the real game begins. Now what do you start noticing? First, micro reactions. A slight flash in the eyes, clenched jaw, slight movement in the corner of the lips. All these leak real-time emotions. Second, hesitations, pausing before answering, changes in voice speed. These are signs of internal conflict or deception. Third, power moves. Who's interrupting? Who's mirroring whom? Who's coming closer and who's moving away? Fourth, emotional triggers. When the reaction to some words or topics is too intense, there's some hidden weakness there that can either be healed or exploited. 5. Fake smiles, forced laughter, over-explaining. All these are signs of discomfort, guilt, or hidden intentions. But why does all this work? Because in your brain, there's an amazing thing that psychologists call theory of mind, meaning that ability by which you can simulate what's going on in others' minds, what they're thinking, what they're feeling. But the problem is, most people use this unconsciously. They just feel something is wrong, but they can't know why. But as soon as you adopt metacognition, This internal churning becomes a weapon for you. Now you don't see people as they appear, but as they are. Let's understand this with a real-life example. You're in a meeting, you gave an idea, and the other person laughs a bit too loudly at it. Most people will either laugh along or back off from embarrassment. But what does a strategic observer do? They think, this wasn't a joke. This was a show of dominance in the name of humor. So now they don't react emotionally. They turn the game around, shift focus, raise their value, and win the game without entering that game. By now you've seen how metacognition makes a person calm, focused, and powerful. But if someone uses this without empathy, when their purpose is not to understand people but to use them, then a mastermind turns into a monster. The monster's power. Emotional analysis as a weapon. Manipulators use metacognition like a scientist. They see your emotions as tools. They read your reactions, recognize your insecurities, and analyze your deepest fears. Then they do one of three things. First, exploit, making you feel that you have no value so that you keep seeking validation from them. Example, who else will understand you? I'm the only one who knows you. You're so broken that no one else will love you. Stay here where I can control you. It might sound like love, but really it's a cage. Trigger, putting your biggest hidden fear right in front of you so that out of fear, you do exactly what they want. Third, mirror. They pretend to feel like you so you think, this person understands me. But the reality is something else. They're just opening your door so they can come inside and control you. The idea, planting in the mind without speaking. You've seen this in politics, in advertising, in relationships, but couldn't recognize it because it's designed that way. A manipulator never says directly, do this. They just twist your thinking so that you yourself say, I think this was my own idea. So ask yourself, am I thinking or am I being made to think? There's a dark side to this too. Let's know that too. How to protect yourself from these mind tricks and how to turn them into positive influence. Where the monster hijacks not your body, but your mind. Thought planting, slowly sowing ideas in your thinking. Manipulators don't control you by telling you something. They sow an idea through subtle cues, loaded questions, and repetition. Example, they won't say directly, you should break your relationship with your friend. They'll say, amazing, right? How many times people stay connected with those who don't even really support them? I could never do that. But yes, everyone's different. Now they've sown the seed, and when that thought grows in your mind, you'll water it yourself, thinking it was your own thought. Calculated silence. Silence is also a move. Manipulators' most underrated power is calculated silence. There's no peace in this silence. It's that presence that makes you uncomfortable, makes you feel guilty, leaves you confused. How? They'll reply to your text a little late, just enough that you get restless. They'll stare at what you say, won't say anything, and you yourself will start talking more. They'll speak slowly, take long pauses, so you spill everything yourself. You shared something personal. They're just silent, watching you. Now, you yourself start rambling, backtracking, apologizing. The power is now with them. You've opened up, and they haven't said a word yet. Sometimes the most powerful move is saying nothing. And now we come to the monster's next move, pretending to be weak so they can control you even more deeply. Now meet the most dangerous move, the mask of innocence, the fake blanket of weakness. Not all monsters look powerful. Some wear the mask of being a victim. These people make your sympathy their biggest weapon. How? They'll tell their sad stories, so you trust them. Show themselves helpless, so you help them. They'll say, no one has ever truly understood me. Now a desire awakens in you to prove to them that you're different. You can understand, but this is all a move. They're gathering emotional information, slowly putting you in emotional debt. And then one day, how you hurt me when I shared everything with you. Now you've become the villain, and they're still pulling the strings. When you start seeing yourself from outside, your prefrontal cortex activates, meaning your thinking and decision-making brain. This stops you from reacting and puts you in strategy. Practical technique. When you're confused or emotional, ask in your mind, what is he feeling right now? Why is he reacting like this? What does he really want in this moment? Yes, call yourself that. Third-person style. For example, am I scared about this presentation? Or is he nervous about this presentation? Why? Does he not trust the preparation? Or does he just want validation? This small shift makes a big difference. You step back from the thought and come to a position of power. No need to become a monk or scientist. Just daily awareness, daily repetition, and a few tools, and you become a mastermind that no one can manipulate. When you do all this, you start thinking like Johann Liebert. You've seen someone is repeatedly seeking approval, but you don't react to it. Instead, you mirror confidence, give small validations, and gradually start leading the group dynamic. But why? Because now you can see behind the game. For this, you can take some steps. You have to stop and see what's going on inside. Second, label. Am I really angry or am I insecure? Third question, is this my childhood belief or did someone force me to think this? Choose. I won't react. Now I'm not moving the pieces. I'm seeing the board that created the game. 5. Reflect. Who tried to press my buttons today and how did I stay calm? When you follow all these steps, the result will be beneficial for you. You'll feel mentally cool. Your emotions will be in your control. You'll become strategically dangerous. Now no one can predict you. Now no one can provoke you. Now no one can play games with you. Now the rules of the game and the game will be in your control.